looks like we are live. So, yeah, this is the live stream that I was supposed to do yesterday. But, yeah, yesterday I was feeling like absolute fucking shite. And to be fair, I don't feel a hell of a lot better today, but we'll give it a go anyway. Now, normally with these streams, I sort of like waffle away for the first few minutes in order to give people a chance to log in. I'm not going to do that this time because there's going to be quite a bit of waffling from me at the start of this anyway. Because we'll start off by going through my results of visiting the various maelstroms. We all know there's 8 of them. I've been to 7. And I've been to each of them at least 3 times. So I think I've got a reasonable idea of, you know, what I consider to be the best and what I consider the worst. Obviously, it would have been better if I'd been able to make, like, say, 5 or 10 trips to each of them. But I was starting to get pretty burnt out on doing this. So I think I did well visiting them all 3 times. Obviously, this was all done last week when we had the CG event, getting various Titan samples and selling them on. In my case, to both parties. Azimuth got the vast majority, but yeah, I did sell some to Aegis as well. But yeah, I ended up going to 7 of the 8. No prizes for guessing what the one that I didn't bother going to is so far. But let's bring up the map now. How I go about judging what I consider to be the best and the worst, I base it on several different criteria. So, that's not going to work. So, it is based on the amount of tissue samples I was able to get from each of the maelstroms, the quality of the tissue samples that I got, and also the aggressiveness of the Titan and the surrounding Thargoids, because some were pretty docile, I'll be honest. It almost looked like they didn't give a shit about you being there. And there were some which, yeah, were anything but that. So I'll do them in reverse order. So we'll go from worst to best. And we'll start with, yeah, in 7th place. The worst maelstrom to go to, in my opinion. Actually, before I start, a couple of other bits I needed to add. Firstly, when it comes to quantity, I go to maelstroms with the intention of getting, well, I have 48 tons of cargo capacity. If you go there with 16 or 32, you're going to be able to fill up your cargo hold no matter which maelstrom you go to. If you go there with 48, you're not going to be able to do that every single one. If you go there with 64, you're fucking mad. You're never going to fill any, you know, from any of them with 64. So yeah, that's yeah, a sort of caveat there. So if you're not interested in you know, getting more than 16 or 32, then, you know, the quantities doesn't really matter. Also, I consider the more aggressive the maelstrom or the surrounding Thargoids, the better. I prefer the challenge from it being a more aggressive Titan. So yeah, I will rate them higher because they are more aggressive. Again, if you're, you know, say you're new to visiting Titans and that, you might want to stay away from the more aggressive ones. But I'm not new to it, so yeah, I welcome it. So anyway, with all that done, let us start then with in number 7, the worst Titan to visit, and I personally think it kind of ran away with it. It's Maelstrom Ryan. Now, it's not a bad one to visit if you are, really new to this, because it's fairly close to the entry point. There it is. So it's 396 light seconds. I've found that the distance doesn't make a great deal of difference as far as how likely you're going to be interdicted or how many times you're going to be interdicted. So yeah, don't read too much into the distances. I say that, and you know which one I've not been to yet and why. So yeah, it's a fairly short trip, but once you get there, the Titan is pretty docile. It will detect you, but it doesn't seem to sort of like go all out to try and find you. Neither do the various Thargoids flying around. There aren't even a lot of glaives around this one, so yeah, it's fairly easy. I didn't get close to filling my cargo hold. The best I got here was 35, so there was still room for another 13. Yeah, that's not a great amount. And there were so many shitty partial samples that I was getting that, I really didn't rate it at all. And when it comes to the Titan, more tissue samples, I was doing well if I found 3 limpet points around it. And again, it was mostly partials. So, yeah, this one is pretty shit. To put it mildly, I was not a fan of it. There is, however, one good thing about visiting this Titan, or at least being in the area of this Titan, and that is a system over here, which is Holvendala. Now, this is going to change tomorrow when the next tick over comes along, because human control in less than a day, so the status here is going to end. But when this place is under Thargoid alert, there are a lot of Orthruses that you can hunt from here. I'll say that I am utterly fucking burnt out on Orthrus hunting. If I don't see another Orthrus again, it'll be too fucking soon. So yeah, I need a fucking break from that, something fierce. But also, you can get a lot of the best missions in the game in this system under this state. The Revenant missions going into Thargoid controlled systems. From here, they will always send you to, I'm trying to find the systems on the map here. Fuck it, I can't find it at all. Well, anyway, one of them is the China system, and the other is this one, the Korukat system. You need to be a bit fussy when you're taking missions to here, because a lot of them are, when it loads up, around here, and you're looking at a 283,000 plus trip. I don't bother with those ones. If it takes me to, most of them actually for this system take me here, A3A, 22.7, yeah, I'm okay with doing that. Anyway, that is all rather by the by, because this is about the Titans. So, yes, the worst one, 7th place, Maelstrom Ryan. In 6th place is... it's the other one that I consider the starter Maelstroms. It's Maelstrom Tyrannus. So this one is the closest to the system entry point. You're only going to be travelling, 132 light seconds. Again, that is rather meaningless. There have been times when just travelling that distance, I've been interdicted 5 or 6 times. So, the actual distance doesn't have much effect as far as how likely you are, going to be interdicted en route. So, it's close, but it's more aggressive than Ryan. When it finds you, it's quite relentless. Actually, it will carry on trying to track you down. So you really need to keep your heat levels down. Plenty of interceptors and glaives flying around, and they will keep looking for you as well. So in that area, it's not too bad. But loads of shitty partial samples again. Very few deep tissue samples. In fact, not that many, just regular samples. It's just way too many of the shitty partial ones. Again, around the moor, not a great deal. I got lucky a couple of times and found as many as 4 limpet points, but it was really nothing special. Never found a Titan Moor deep tissue sample in this maelstrom. And it all adds up to, not a great deal. I've never been able to fill up the cargo hold. I got fairly close to it, I think. I think it was either 41 or 42. But it meant I still had 6 or 7 left over. And, it's not great. Again, if you're new to visiting Titans and getting Titan samples, you may rate this one, but I'm not, and I don't. So that is Tyrannus, absolutely nailed on for number 6. Not a great one. So on to Maelstrom number 5, and this one is Maelstrom Indra. It's a bit of a nothing, this one. It's a fair distance. It's orbiting the outermost planet. So you're looking at 3,231 light seconds. In fact, I think there are plenty of times when it's been further than that. So, you've got a long old trek. Again, doesn't really make much difference as far as how likely you're going to be interdicted. Once you get there, I'll freely admit, with this one, I was starting to feel pretty burnt out. This was the last one I went to. And of the 3 trips that I made to it, 2 of the occasions I only had 16 tonnes of cargo capacity. Obviously, I filled them. When I took the 48 tonnes, I couldn't fill it, but I got fucking close. I had 45. So, 3 out, it's all right there. Again, rather more partials than I'd like. Nothing like as bad as the 2 previous ones, but not very many deep tissue samples. Not a hell of a lot in the way of the more limpet points. So the sample quality was okay, but that was all. It also seemed to be fairly docile. It did spot me fairly quickly, but it didn't do a great deal. It's like it wasn't going out of its way to try and find me, and there weren't a hell of a lot of interceptors or glaives around it either, so I never felt like I was at any risk here. So the samples were all right without being great. And other than that, it wasn't all that really. That's why it's down at number 5. It's not a favourite. It's not one that I'm going to be visiting. Well, I don't think I'll be bothering with it again, let alone too often. So on to fourth place, which is Maelstrom Ligong. For some reason, I got it into my head that this was going to be a really good one. So I felt doubly disappointed by this when I went there. It's not bad. It's the only system that has two ammonia worlds. Thankfully, it's around the first. So yeah, 2,576 light seconds. Your approach to the system is a bit slow because of course you've got this fucking gas giant here with its gravitational field that's slowing it down. But once I got there, it was the first one where filling up the cargo hold, absolutely no problem. I was getting, I get 47. I never actually get all 48. I always get 47 and leave one spare limpet in case things go tits up on the way back. But I got 47, no problem. There were still plenty of other signals lying around that I didn't bother, going to. Not a hell of a lot of partials. It was all pretty much all of the standard ones. Not too many deep tissue samples at all. And also, yeah, very few Titan More limpet points. I didn't get a single deep tissue sample, a more deep tissue sample. Yeah, didn't get any of those. And the Maelstrom itself, it was fairly aggressive. It spotted me in no time. And it did seem like it was constantly trying to pinpoint where I was. But I was just keeping the heat down, as always. And unfortunately, it was the only thing that really did. None of the surrounding interceptors seemed all that fussed, and there weren't very many glaives around. So, yeah, you're getting reasonable samples, and certainly getting good numbers off them. But yeah, if you're looking for the same sort of challenge that I am, that's about all it had going for it. There's far worse out there, but yeah, it wasn't a favourite. So that's number 4. Now, in third place is Maelstrom Kochiho, which this one was a bit of a cunt. This one is pretty aggressive, which I quite like. It's not that far away either, 1,351. But again, you've got this gas giant which is slowing down your approach. Also has a ring system, mind you, so did Ligong, which again, you've got to make sure you're approaching the Maelstrom from the right side and not accidentally flying into rings, especially if the game's not rendering them properly. Once you're there, this Titan is pretty aggressive. On one of my trips, it found me, and I had a glaive firing on me before I'd even got close enough to it to be able to use my beam laser to call me temperature and cool the ship down. So yeah, it is pretty aggressive, and once it finds you, it's quite relentless. It's not difficult to hide away from everyone, and once you've been able to do that and then keep your temperature down, yeah, as quite a bit of trouble finding you then. But yeah, you got to remember to keep your temperature down. As far as the samples, quantity is fine. I had no problem again filling up here. The quantity or the qualities, they weren't bad. I didn't get too many partials, which I was more than happy about. It was mostly the regular ones, but I did get a pretty good number of deep tissue samples here. There wasn't a huge amount of more limpet points. It averaged sort of somewhere between 3 and 4. There was one occasion I got close to, I think, it was 5. So it looked like I was going to do all right there, but yeah, I did get quite a few partial from the Moor, which wasn't so great. But I always treat the Titan Moor tissue samples more as a bonus. You're always going to find some, but I'm really going there for the regular, tissue samples, not the Moor ones, and ideally the deep tissue samples at that. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, that is quite a good one. Yeah, not too far to travel. It's fairly aggressive, and you got plenty of samples there, and they're not too bad. But it's only number 3. So at number 2 is Maelstrom Oya. Now this one, this is probably the most aggressive one in the game. Every time I went to it, I was being spotted before I'd even got the chance to get close enough to use the thermal vent beam laser. It's also a fair distance away. It says nearest damage 6,000 light seconds. Not only that, as you can see, it's orbiting a secondary star, and it is orbiting the innermost planet of that secondary star. So you're going to be passing quite a few planets on the way, which are all going to slow you down. So you're going to be spending more time in supercruise, and therefore, yeah, the possibility of being interdicted, yeah, it's going up by a fair bit. Lots of decent tissue samples here. Again, no problem filling the thing, filling the ship up. And yeah, I was getting a really good amount of deep tissue samples. Very few partials. I think the most I got from any of my trips to this one was 4. So yeah, I was well pleased with that. The Titan Moor was okay. It wasn't fantastic, but again, I wasn't getting a great deal of partials from the Titan Moor, so I was quite happy about that. Usually it's only like, say, 3 or 4 limping points around the Moor, but yeah, everything else more than made up for it. One other thing, which is completely irrelevant, but I did like about it, the fact that it's orbiting a brown dwarf means that the light around here is fairly low, and it really does make Maelstrom Oya look like a real sort of hellish landscape. So I think it looks fucking great. So, I mean, that's kind of by the by, but, you know, if you want somewhere that's going to give you the opportunities to take decent screenshots, then, yeah, why not? So, yeah, number 2, Maelstrom Oya. That is a good one. But it's not the best. The best one for me, Maelstrom Thor. This one is fucking great. So, it's not that far. It's only a 3-figure journey, 815 light seconds. It is very aggressive. It has very little trouble spotting anyone when they're approaching. You've got to keep your heat down around here. If you don't, and the Titan will be able to pinpoint you, and you're going to end up with several interceptors and several glaives all coming along fucking firing at you, so you've got to stay hidden around here. No problem at all filling up the ship with samples. Got the full 47, yeah, easy. Lots of really good quality samples as well, very few partials. A good amount of deep tissue samples. One of my trips here, I had as many deep tissue samples as I had the regular kind. I was well pleased with that. And also a good number of Titan Moor limpet points. I think there was one time I was here I had 6, which I was well pleased about. But there have been several times, I've been here plenty of times, not just the 3. And yeah, plenty of times I've had like 5 more tissue samples. It's a bit risky going after them at this one because, yeah, as I say, you've got plenty of interceptors and glaives that are all sort of like on the lookout for you. But the risk is worth it. You've got plenty of great tissue samples available to you here if you can survive it. So yeah, Maelstrom Thor is by far my favourite one, and if I'm after tissue samples, this is where I go. The only drawback with it, and it is a very slight drawback, is it's a little bit out of the way. And if your carrier is here, I'm trying to remember what system I park in. That looks like it. Yeah, pretty sure that's it. So I'm only one jump away from from the Titan then. But yeah, you park around here, you get your tissue samples. If you're going to sell them from your carrier, which I started doing fairly quickly actually, I'd already handed in enough for the CG event, and of course the CG event's over now, so you may as well just sell them on your carrier. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of players coming out here. Thor seems to be largely left alone for reasons I can't even begin to work out. And yeah, most of the time, if I was selling samples on my carrier, they would sell out in 20 minutes, no problem. Except when I was out here for some reason, it took a few hours before they finally sold. So what might be an idea, it's probably one that I'll be trying next time. Come out here, get your samples from Thor, and once you've transferred them all onto your carrier, if you've got enough and you're not going to be making any more trips to Thor at all, then move your carrier. And if you move it somewhere near either Tyrannus or Ryan, yeah, they will sell in no time. So yeah, that's what I would do. So that's the top 7, but of course there's not 7 Maelstroms, are there? There are 8 of them. It leaves the one that I have not been to, Maelstrom Haddad. Now, if you are not familiar with Maelstrom Haddad, you may not know why I've not been here. If you are familiar with it though, then yeah, you'll know exactly why I've not been here, because yeah, Maelstrom Haddad is here. Yeah, nigh on 40,000 light seconds away from the system entry point. Not only that, it's on the outermost planet of the secondary star. Now that could mean one of 2 extremes as far as possibilities go. It could be the first planet you go to, or you reach as you're approaching the secondary star. Or it could be in such a position that it is the furthest point in the entire system. It is the furthest planet from the around the secondary system from where you are coming from. And yes, indeed, yeah, it is one of those 2. Yeah, one of those 2 possibilities. Guess which one it is? Yes, the latter. It is the furthest point in the entire system. So you are going to be slowing down a hell of a lot as you are approaching it, because not only do you have the star that you've got to pass, you've got several planets including 4 gas giants, one of which Haddad is a planet that is also orbiting a gas giant. It's going to be a long old trip, and I wasn't going to bother with it. But there's no denying it, I am a completionist in this game, so despite saying I wasn't going to bother with it, yeah, I am. And that is the ultimate test that I'll be putting my Titan tissue sample gathering ship through during this stream. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, can't you tell? So let's see if we've got much in the way of waffle in the chat here. I'm so out of touch now with this game that I don't know what the maelstroms are about or the point of visiting them. I'm hoping to learn something here. You may well learn something. Whether or not it goes, whether or not it's something that you want to learn is, yeah, something, completely different. Right. Well, one thing that I'm also going to be doing in this, it is yet more waffle, I'm afraid, but yeah, bear with me. I had stopped showing like the loadouts of my ships, and I'd also in my videos, especially my videos that had anything to do with like the Maelstrom Clouds or the Titans, I was constantly throwing in some like curveballs. So I was showing stuff that I actually wouldn't normally do, and there was as much that I wasn't saying about how to do X, Y, and Z as there was stuff that I was saying how to do it. The biggest one being, I think one or two of the videos that I showed of me going into the Maelstrom, I was using an Imperial cutter, which is a fucking terrible choice for doing anything in a Maelstrom. Actually, I'll tell you, it's if you're going into the Maelstrom Cloud purely to get materials from within the cloud, so your crystal shards, no, your caustic shards, your caustic crystals, and your corrosive mechanisms. Yeah, it's okay for that, but that is it. If you are wanting to do anything else, getting anything from the Titan itself, or getting any of the commodities from around the cloud, i.e. the caustic tissue samples, then yeah, the cutter is a fucking dreadful choice. I wouldn't even consider it. So I use a Crite Mark II, which, to be fair, so do a lot of people. At the moment, it seems to be the choice is between the Crite Mark II, the Alliance the Alliance Chieftain, and the Imperial Clipper for some reason. I couldn't get a decent loadout on the Imperial Clipper, no matter how much I tried. Just would not work. The only way I got anywhere close was if I went shieldless, and I am not convinced by this whole current fad of shieldless AX ships. On one or two ships, yeah, it does work out, but also if you decide to use a different ship, which can have shields and decent armour, it works out a lot better. So yeah, I don't go along with this whole shieldless ships for AX anything. No, I'm not interested in that. So we'll have a look at the loadout of my Maelstrom, I guess Maelstrom research ship, or whatever you want to fucking call it. My Crite Mark II. Anyway, so in the hard points, we start with a Class 3 beam laser, which has long range and thermal vent. And this thing serves just one purpose, and that is to get my ship's heat level down. You really don't want to be getting mixed up in combat in this thing. Alright, I've got my other hard points are all gimbaled enhanced AX multi-cannons, 2 Class 2s, 2 Class 3s. They can take on a glaive just fine, providing there's only one of them. So, but that's really the only combat. Well, you don't even want to do that. You've got to. You're not going to fucking run away from a glaive. So you've got to take it on. But yeah, I'm not going there willingly doing combat in this thing. This is not a combat outfitted ship. So yeah, the beam laser you're really going to need. So I always go with long range thermal vent if I'm doing anything that involves visiting Maelstroms. Utility mounts, 3 things that you absolutely must have if you're going to be doing this. So the Thargoid Pulse Neutralizer, because without that you ain't getting inside to where the Titan is. Pulse Wave Xeno Scanner, Because without that, you are not going to be able to find where to send your limpets to take the Titan tissue samples. And a caustic sink launcher, because without that, your ship's going to melt before you reach the middle of the Maelstrom cloud. As far as the final utility mount, yeah, I bunged on a shield booster, which, yeah, heavy duty grade 5 supercapacitors. My shields are not brilliant, but they're good enough. There have been a couple of occasions when I've taken out glaives without losing my shields. It is only twice out of 45 attempts, so yeah, it's not great. Most of the time I will lose my shields, but yeah. Alright, core internals, no big surprises here. So military grade composite armour, which has grade 5 heavy duty and deep plating on it. 7A power plant, which has low emissions, grade 5 and thermal spread. So it's all about keeping your heat level down, because if you can keep your heat levels below 20, you're fine. They're going to have a really tough time finding you. I go a bit overboard when it comes to keeping my heat levels down, and I'm calling off my ship if the heat level is getting a double figures. So I really don't want to be seen. Thrusters, 6A, dirty drive tuning, drag drives. What a big surprise, eh? The frame shift drive is one of the double engineered ones. I've not put an experimental on it because it's not really needed. I have found out that yeah, the much better boot time, which has been reduced to 2 seconds, yeah, that don't work if you have your FSD shut down by a glaive FSD missile. It will still take as long as if you didn't have this mod on there. So yeah, if you're looking at the double engineered FSDs so that you can take advantage of the boot time, don't waste your time with it. Life support, miscellaneous reforce, only to grade 4. I can't do it at grade 5 without visiting Colonia. Distributor, yeah, 7A, charge enhanced, grade 5 and super conduits, no surprises there. And then the sensors, I did fuck up a little bit here with the sensors. So I've got 6A sensors with long range scanner, grade 5. You don't need that. If you're one of these players who still persists in always using D-rated sensors, then you need the long range scanner. If you've got 6A sensors, you can just put on the lightweight. Well, you can put on any mod you fucking like, but you may as well just go with a lightweight one and improve your speed, your manoeuvrability and your jump range of it. You don't need 6A sensors and long range scanner. I thought I would get a sort of advantage out of it. Nah, it's not really not done very much at all. So finally, the optional internals. So I have a 6A shield generator. It's a standard one, not bi-weaves. Bi-weaves, okay, yeah, obviously they will regenerate their shields a damn sight faster, but they're not strong enough, plain and simple. So I got reinforced grade 5 on there with fast charge experimental. The only reason I put fast charge on there is I wanted an experimental, and high cap would have put me over the power limit. I mean, you can see I'm fucking close to the limit now as it is. I'm 0.11 off. So yeah, high cap would have put me over that. Fast charge doesn't improve things a hell of a lot. It speeds up the regeneration by about 30 seconds, which, okay, yeah, I guess is useful. I mean, the high cap wouldn't have changed a lot either. I think it adds about another 40 to your megajoules, so it's really, whichever one you go with, it's not going to make a vast difference. I mean, it will make a difference, but yeah, not a hell of a lot of one. Then we have 3 hull reinforcement pages, all 5Ds, all have heavy duty hull reinforcement with deep plating. What a shock. Then we have the anti-corrosion cargo rack, 16, then the 3B xeno Olympic controller, then 2 module reinforcement pages, class 3 and a class 2. Yes, I freely admit, a single class 3 and a single class 2 is not very much at all. but I've got away with it all this time, so I'll stick with it for now. And then Class 1A Collector Olympic controller. You don't really need this actually. If you're still going after materials that are within the Maelstrom cloud around the outside there. So yeah, you're after the caustic crystals, caustic shards, and corrosive mechanisms. Then you need one of these, because without one of these, you're not going to be able to pick them up. Other than that, you really don't need it. All of the materials that you can get from the Titan surface, you can easily pick them up manually. The vast majority of them, I got that way. So if you're going to the Titan with the intention of getting materials and tissue samples, save your limpets for getting the tissue samples and just pick up the materials manually. It's not difficult. And also, of course, limpets are fucking stupid. And the collector limpets around the Titan, yeah, they keep flying into the structure and blowing themselves up. So, yeah, save them. There's a good chance I may end up replacing this at some point. So the net result of that loadout is that my ship has shield health of 839, armor health of 3,309, no caustic resistance because it's not really needed. And I mean, alright, shield health is not fantastic, but it's not bad. I'm certainly okay with that. Armor health is great. Anything over 3,000 is great. But I'm not going in there with 3,309 armour, because as I've said several times, I go there with 48 ton cargo capacity. So my last grade 5 hull reinforcement is replaced by my 32 ton anti-corrosion cargo rack, giving me that 48 ton cargo capacity, which means that now my armour health is 2,572, which does sound pretty low, but I've never had any trouble with it. Well, okay, yeah, there have been one or two times when I've had trouble with it, but most of the time I do okay. So let's do what I swore I was never going to do, and set course for Maelstrom Haddad. I'm sure I won't have any reason at all to regret this. Now, I will let you know in advance, if I am pulled out of height space by 2 glaives together, I'm combat logging, because it's the only way I can get out of that alive. Yes, I know it's cheating, fucking sue me, that's what I do. I can't destroy 2 glaives together, right, what else have we got in the chat here? Never been to Colonia. That grade 5 blueprint was the main reason I went there the first time. Oh yeah, I've been to Colonia quite a few times, but I've got the grade 5 life support lightweight pinned, not the reinforced one. So yeah, I can only get everything, get the life supports reinforced if I take all my ships to Colonia again. I am going to do that at some point, but yeah, not right away. Fancy UK, I found the Maelstrom a bit hard going. Well, yeah, I guess in a way you did, but are you going to let them know what it was that resulted in your ship being destroyed there? I'll say no more. Pro skills, there's a love heart button if I press that, it's entirely by accident, FYI. Right, I've no idea what you're on about. It's probably just as well by the looks of it. Right, anyway, let's not launch, because I was about to launch without having my fucking limpets. What kind of dickwad would head into a maelstrom without any limpets?
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Right, let's go. How long's this stream been going for now? 3/4 an hour, and I've only just started actually doing anything. Jesus fucking Christ. Now, is anyone who's watching this, I can't believe anyone's still watching after 45 minutes of fuck all happening, but has anyone watching this actually been to Maelstrom Haddad? You know, I can't imagine why anyone would want to do that. What's your ship's idle heat? It's somewhere around, well, yeah, you can see here, yeah, it's about sort of like between 16 and 18. Got your Maelstrom clipper down to 14% in Super Cruise. So I assumed, we'll jump, I assumed that if you can get your heat levels down to below 20 while in Super Cruise, that means no interdictions, they can't see you. Yeah, it hasn't worked out that way. So what a surprise, we are being interdicted. Yes, I was in the A-hole system. Perfectly named, I think you'll find. Where else would you find me? Right, what have we got? Well, there's only one of whatever it is. Doesn't seem to be doing anything, whatever it is. Oh, it is a fucking glaive. Okay. At least it's only one, so... Alright, there is no point firing on it while it's using its lightning attack because it's constantly recharging its shields, so you're just wasting ammo. They do seem to have been toned down a bit by Frontier developments. They're not quite as ridiculously aggressive as they used to be. They're still bad enough, especially when they fucking ram you. So going down to 45, which ain't too shabby. So we've got a load of fucking scouts coming in. Well, sure they was going to try and ram me then. So shields are down. So we got him down to 18, 16. Of course, now my module protection, or lack thereof, is going to really sort of stand out. Oh, fucking hell. I don't know how I managed to avoid that. Look how many fucking scouts are on their way. I don't need them getting up close. So that's him out. Now let's try and get away, because my yeah, my FSD got shut down, so I've got to keep boosting away from these fuckers. Also gives the chance, or yeah, gives me shields the chance to get back online again. I'll wait till the shields are online before I jump. So FSD is back online. Right, there we go. So, let's try that again. Still have to enter my first maelstrom. Summer heat ain't helping. Yeah, I have no social life whatsoever. So yeah, I've been doing it quite a bit. That's what I say. Right, we're here.
Hazardous environment.
39,000 light seconds to go. Oh, now that looks handy. It's off to the side. Okay, it's still, yeah, we still got a bit of a way to go, but now normally I would be sort of like approaching it and doing all this business, trying to make it more difficult for the for the Sargoids to interdict me, but in this case I'm not going to, because I'm going to be checking what we've got on the chat here. I've been of the opinion that the heat system is ignored most of the time. You can drop into a research or resource extraction site, go deep into it with your systems off and your ship iced up. Ship still drop in and fly straight to where you are and scan you. Yeah, I mean, there is that. But I mean, also bearing in mind that if you're talking about things like the extraction sites, we can do that with other ships as well. There are plenty of occasions where they're using like shield cell banks, therefore they're using their heat level, their heat sinks, bringing their heat levels right down. And alright, for a brief while we can't sort of like target them or anything, but it is only briefly. Not only that, we can, we can still see them. So even though we can't sort of like track them on the sensors, we can still see them visually. Now with the Sargoids, they can't, because their vision is terrible, and their vision is almost entirely reliant on heat signatures. So unless you're in a very obvious place or you've been blasting away at this thing, therefore they know whereabouts you are, as long as your heat levels are low, they're going to have a hard time finding you until you make yourself very conspicuous. So yeah, it does depend very much on the kind of ships you're taking on. The number of interdictions is really frustrating, fucking big time, is it? So there was one time I was going to Maelstrom Tyrannus, so it's only 132 light seconds, and I was interdicted 6 fucking times. I was like, you are having a fucking joke, and I am beyond sick of the sight of hyperspace interdictions. I've had that happen to me over 400 times now. I mean, fucking can't they rein it in a bit? Well, so far so good. No sign of anything. Quite pleased about that. I still can't believe I'm fucking doing this. But I mean, unless this Maelstrom is, pretty much guaranteed non-stop fucking deep tissue samples, then this is the first and last time, because why would I travel all this way to get something where, you know, there's a very good chance I would be better off going to Maelstrom Thor? Fancy UK's favourite Maelstrom. Well, it is, as long as he doesn't accidentally hit the boost button while trying to take screenshots. Got AFMU? No, I haven't. But whilst in the Maelstrom, I don't find myself needing to worry about that too much. And if we look at the modules, okay, they have taken some damage, but it's none of it's terrible. I think 88 on the canopy is the worst. So, okay, as long as I get lucky and don't have any more, or too many more glaives coming after me, I should be alright. But fitting an AFMU would, yeah, it's going to send my power usage up way too high. So I'd rather chance it and not have one fitted. What's the other one there? Reference to the number of interdictions being frustrating from Panther UK. Try it in a bloody authoress hunting fair lance. Well, because your fair lance also has additional trouble because you replace two of your AX multi-cannons with AX missile racks, and now because you've got low emissions on the power plant, you've got some power issues. If I were you, I would just re-engineer the power plant, but keep two AX missile racks and two multi-cannons. I cannot believe I have not been interdicted yet. I'm practically there. I will probably need to synthesize more caustic sinks because I've only got 6. That will get me into it, but yeah, coming out again is going to be a bit of an issue. And what side of the rings is it? Oh fuck yeah, it looks like it's right in line with them. It's not going to be in the fuck it, is it in the ring system? It looks like it is. Ah, here we go. Well, it's an interceptor, so it's a Hydra. You know what? I'm not going to turn around and go after him. I figured that, yeah. I'm not here to do a suicide mission.
3, 2, 1,
But now, if this thing is, say, it looks very much like it's in the ring system. Yes, it is. So what's that going to mean for, like, trying to get through the cloud? Oh, hang on, no, it's not in them. It's very close to it, but thank fuck for that. Right, let's not hang about. Let's straight in.
Caustic damage detected.
Quite a few caustic generators. Didn't quite time it, but
Damage. Caustic substance neutralized.
didn't take much to get rid of it. Stay right in front of it, it's only a shard, so I'm not fussed. So here comes the first charge. So we're through that one.
Caustic damage detected. Caustic substance neutralized.
So we're coming up on the asteroid belt.
Warning. Caustic damage detected. Caustic substance neutralized.
You can see her dad there in the background. There we are, caustic damage has stopped. So we can now switch to fire group and beam laser. And we're approaching the top side. That there, that's either where glaives are launched or scouts. I think that's a glaive launch point. Let's get the heat down. So we're here. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. A lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Now, I'm not going to go straight for Titan More samples. We'll see what we've got as far as regular ones first. Fucking hell, so he's already spotted us. One Titan has, not Titan, one Interceptor has got its Thargon Swarm out. He's not doing a hell of a lot though. So, bollocks to him. Let's see what we get from this one. Just keep ourselves, our heat levels nice and low, and we should be absolutely fine. Right, where are we on the old chat? I managed to squeeze in a Class 1A AFMU, keeping it off when not needed. Is your clipper shieldless? I can't remember if it is or not. Erodian is too quiet in Super Cruise. The thing that I don't like about well, one of the many things I don't like about the thyroid interdictions is that you can't see them. So they come from absolutely anywhere. So they could be, in fact, they probably are just purely like random, which is irritating. The only time you ever actually see a Thargoid in Super Cruise is if you're leaving a planet's surface and you're between the drop point and the and leaving orbital cruise. That's just a regular one. That's okay. It's not a parcel. So, but yeah, if you're in that sort of area, a Thargoid appears that would have interdicted you. It can't while you're in that area, and you'll see them on the sensors then. But that's the only time.
Research unit engaged.
Clipper is pure hull tank. Okay. Yeah, the Clipper is one of those ships where it does actually make sense to do that, because even if you put a fucking great 7A shield generator, its shields are still really low, and you actually get more protection by not bothering with a 7A shield generator and putting on another 5A heavy duty hull reinforcement. But that in turn is something else that puts me off using them. I mean, the manoeuvrability and the speed, you would think, oh, okay, yeah, this is going to be like, the obvious choice. And clearly a lot of other players think that as well. But yeah, lack of shields just puts me off. Alright, so it's another regular one. And let's see if we can launch the next research limpet straight away. So this one will be the last that I can get from this limpet point, but we've got we got 3 more in quite close proximity, so that is not a problem. Has 7C multi-controller and 3285 armour. I mean, the armour's good. What made you go with a 7C over a 7A? Was it just power requirement? I freely admit, gathering tissue samples from a Titan is not the most scintillating of viewing. But we're here now, so you're going to have to sweat it out.
Research unit successful.
Another regular one. So, well, no partials, so, I'm okay with that. Right, let's see what we get here. Yeah, less power equals colder ship. Yeah, okay. The only ship I've got that uses one of those Class 7 universal limit controllers is my my Orpheus Hunter, which is an Anaconda. So it's got 7A universal limpet controller and 6A shields. But 6A shields are more than fine if you're using a ship to go after Orpheuses. So, while we're doing this, what next? I'm not going to spend the whole stream just going after tissue samples. Ah, it's a fucking partial. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing nothing but going after tissue samples because it's, well, as you've already seen, it's not the most riveting viewing. I haven't got a fucking clue what I will be doing though. So if anyone has any ideas as to what they want to see next after this, then yeah, you can start throwing them my way. Just don't ask me to do any more Orthrus hunting because I'm fucking sick of it at the moment. And I've taken out 193 of them. It's not that surprising that I'm a bit bored with Orthrus hunting. Is that 32-ton corrosion-resistant cargo rack from CG? Yes. I forget which one it was. It wasn't that long ago, and I was really after a 64-ton. But yeah, I would have had to have contributed way more than I did to get a 64. And if I had got that, I would have also had two of the 32-ton ones, which I really wanted. But yeah, it wasn't to be. But I was happy enough to get, the single. I didn't even see what that one was. It was a regular one, right. Now, the last one of this lot, yeah, just over here. Delete sensor. How did I know that you of all people would certainly be saying, yeah, oh yeah, go after Orthruses? As it where I am at the moment, Orthrus hunting is a fucking dead loss. There is a system quite close to where my carrier is parked, which is in Thargoid alert state, where it is for the next few hours. But every time I've been there, not only have I not found a single Orthrus, I haven't found a single non-human signal source. So yeah, it's what's known among the gaming community as fucking shite. Oh, another fucking partial, and it's the only one there. I've already seen enough to know that yeah, this is going to be the first and only trip here, because there's nothing here that makes me think, oh yeah, this is great, this is well worth the fucking journey. Anyway, that limpet point is on the other side of the Titan. Looks like they both are. So yeah, you can see from the movement there. So we're out of this one. So that's where this is. I think I mentioned in one of my videos or in the last of my streams, I'm maxed on all of the materials that you can get from the Titan surface. So, yeah, that's why I'm ignoring all those. Can I still unlock the 32 ton myself? I don't think so. I know Frontier Development said that the 32 and the 64 were going to be made available. I think they said they were serious unlocks, but they're not in the game yet. They need to fucking hurry up though, because there are plenty of players who are crying out for the 32 in particular. The 64 I guess would come in handy, but the 32 really would be useful, especially for doing stuff like this. Because, you know, going all the way into a Maelstrom and visiting a Titan just for 16 tons is not worth it. So you really want at least 32, ideally 48. So it's not a regular one. Let's get the next one sent out. Alright, Thargoid vessel that it's highlighting there. Okay, it's over here somewhere. I can't see what it is. Judging by its movements, I think it is a glaive. Yes, it is. Well, I am not in a ship to take on Thargoids around the Titan, but that is something I really want to do. I doubt it will ever happen, because it's not the sort of thing that I reckon. I don't think I'd be able to do it solo, and the chances of being in a wing of players that want to do that, I think, are pretty close to zero. So yeah, I think that's just one of those things where I like the idea, I want to give it a try, but yeah, it's never going to happen. Alright, so next looping point is, yeah, it's on the top side. Oh no, he's not quite. It's exciting stuff, this, isn't it, eh? There we go. This is the first time I've gone after tissue samples since the last CG event ended. So I have no idea if there is still any demand for any of this stuff. I know there are carriers that are still, they still got buying orders for it. I'd rather just sell it from mine. I can't be asked to fly to other carriers to flog it. So that's not a regular one. Not a single deep tissue sample yet. How many have we got so far? So this is sample number 9. This is not looking particularly great. Well, alright, it's not as bad as Tyrannus or Ryan, but it's not a good one. Right, where the fucking hell is the underside again? vids around here.
Cargo hold at maximum.
God, that took its fucking time. That happens a lot when I'm gathering these. The server is really slow, so I realised that it's, you know, I've picked something up. Yeah, there is one. It's fairly out in the open. And considering how far away we are from either of the stars in this system, it is fairly well lit. Certainly nowhere near as dark and eerie as Oya. I mean, if you use the old lights, you can see the Titan is a rather dull grey colour. So, nothing else in the chat there. Not really surprising. So this is not particularly scintillating viewing. That's the thing with going after the tissue samples, though. I like the gameplay. I like being able to treat the Titans as effectively a huge sort of like mining zone, but it's not the most interesting thing to watch. Another regular one. Still not a single deep tissue sample yet. Right, got some there. And they're all in this little huddle. What I can do with these, this usually, I'm a bit reluctant to do this because this usually results in me getting loads of partials, but in order to save time, I'll send one there. One there. It also increases the chances of being spotted by any Thargoids that are flying around. They do tend to notice limpets when they are flying about, and they don't like seeing them. I do a lot of the time, especially when I'm around the moor, that's where most of them get spotted. And it's often glaives that find them, but when they do, all they do is fire the FSD reboot missile at a limpet. So of course, yeah, it hits the thing, but it don't do fuck all. Can the P-Wave scanner also reveal asteroid cores like the regular mining one? No, it's just basically at the Titan is the only time you can really use it. So yeah, so we've got one tissue and one partial. Okay, we've got two partials. So yeah, that's why I don't like sending out multiple ones, because more often than not I end up with loads of shitty partial samples. Yeah, that I had one that was sitting there waiting to yeah, drop the sample off. Well, let's you want this to be done as quickly as we possibly can, so much as I don't really want to do this, we will. So I heard a Titan roaring earlier. That does signify that, yeah, because there are 3 research limpets out there, it knows something's up. But notice also, all of the turrets have been retracted. So the only red signals I've got now are all of the Thargoid ships that are in the area. There's 1 hunter and 3 interceptors. There's a good chance that at least 2 of those interceptors are going to be another fucking partial. Yeah, at least 2 of those interceptors will just be Orthruses coming back from like reconnaissance runs. Let's get that last one done. So I got another successful one, which is bringing back a regular. Another one on its way back, and again that's got another fucking partial. It looks like that was the last of that limpet point, so it's just these 2, and we know that these 2 will be the last here. The most you can get from any one limpet point is 3. So yeah, 16 samples gathered, 6 of them are partials. This has been one of the worst ones. So I would put this in the same sort of band as I put Ryan and Tyrannus. So that's a regular. But I mean, 17 samples now, 6 of them partials, and no sign of any deep tissue samples yet. That's another partial. So yeah, 17 partials out of no 7 partials out of 18. Yeah, 18 in total. That's shit. Because you've got to fly 40 odd thousand light seconds to get here. Why would you want to do that when you're just getting all this fucking shite? Right, that, yeah, I thought I was awake. That's not. Looks like we got yeah, 4 more tissue points. So we'll gather from these 4, and then we'll make a start on the on gathering them from the moor. Now these ones look like they are a bit more spread out. If I was to try launching them all, they could end up just impacting on the surface, which will be a real pain in the arse. We'll give it a try. So we can do these 2 anyway. The other 2, I'm not quite sure yet whereabouts they are. Anything else in the chat? I guess the ammonia world has to be close. Yeah, they're always orbiting ammonia worlds, so yeah, there has to be an ammonia world in the system I have heard rumours, although as far as I can tell, based purely on supposition and nothing else, that there may be another one or two maelstroms that are going to be making their way out here. So that's a regular. Send that one out again. That's another regular one. But at least it's not a partial, so you know it could be worse. So we're up to 20, and yeah, it's not been great. And it's not like this is a particularly aggressive Titan either. It's retracted all of its turrets. It's not even doing anything. So at the moment, I'd put this as the worst of the lot. You know, why would you come all the way out here just to get, oh, at last, one deep tissue sample? The 21st fucking sample I get is finally a deep tissue sample. But I mean, it is a fucking piss poor return.
Research limpet engaged.
So after these two, I'm going to be half full. Oh yeah, so I have 2 deep tissue samples out of 22. Do Thargoids drink special brew? Would explain a great deal if they did. So that's a standard. And so is that one. So let's take a look at where these other 2 limpet points are. Like I say, once we've got everything from these 2, we'll head over to the moor and see what we get from that. I'll do these 2 together as well. Yeah, that coarse hull surface there is, yeah, it's just off to the side. Can't quite see it. Yeah, it's just behind us. But that's where you get another material type from. Oh, another deep tissue sample. At last. Limpet point is still there. This one is on its way back with a fucking parcel. So already down to my last 20 limpets. But yeah, that's not a great haul. That.
Research limpet successful.
Alright, what we got here? That's a regular. That's the last one from that limpet point. And there's another fucking parcel. I'm going to be in the double figures pretty soon with these parcels. Alright, anyway. Let's head over to the moor. I do not... yeah, I don't rate my chances of getting much in the way of decent stuff from here, because I mean, look at the amount of shit I've been getting from all the other ones. Alright, so we got two. Looks like they are right over the other side. That could mean they are the only two that we're going to get. If we are, that really will confirm this as being the worst of the Titans I've been to. This is where you gotta be, yeah. You really gotta watch what you're doing around here. Because you are so fucking exposed while you're getting these things. The other thing, if you're not positioned well, then your research limpets just keep smashing themselves into the point here. Alright, let's give that a go. Yeah, so that one's alright. But yeah, if this was an aggressive Titan, then yeah, being in this position, yeah, you would have to really watch what you're doing. But not only is this Titan, well, certainly doesn't look very aggressive at all. I can't see a single fucking, yeah, there isn't, oh okay, a vessel has just appeared. I think it's because it's, has it just launched? It sounds like an Orthrus. Oh, here it comes. Yeah, it is an Orthrus. So it's just coming into land. What's this? That's a regular one. Not a bad start. At least it's not a partial. I didn't get to see the. Didn't get to see it disappear in the into that whatever it is. Into the giant fondue. Looks like something's coming out of it as well now. What though? I can't see from here. It's pretty slow moving. I know it's picking up speed now. It looked like a Cyclops. It was going too fast to be an Orthrus, that's for sure. That's another regular. So this will be the last one from this Olympic point. You can hear what sounds like another Orthrus heading this way. And there somewhere. There it is. That's another regular. That was pretty fast, whichever one that was. I didn't get the chance to see it. That was going quick enough. It could have been a fucking Medusa.
At maximum capacity.
Right, get ourselves in the position here. That looks okay. Let's see if this works. Yep. I can hear what sounds like another Orthrus. I can't see what that is in the distance there. That's sort of like a sparkly effect. It looks like it could be another Orthrus making a return. What's that one coming out? also didn't see what. Oh no, it was another regular, wasn't it? A regular more one.
Search unit engaged.
Anything else on? Got a message retracted there. Don't know why. Can't put anything there. Enjoyed the Iron Maiden chat a while back. Any more videos like that in the pipeline? There's a big question mark over them. There might be. I mean, there have been plenty of other music ones done since the Iron Maiden one. I mean, that was the first one. Is that all that this thing's fucking doing? It's just...
Successful.
It's just got orifices coming to and fro. There's another regular.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity. Programming lifted drone. Research unit incomplete. Shift required.
Clearly another orifice on its way. I mean, you can hear it, but you have 1.5 caustic sinks left. Is that enough to get out? Probably not. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I don't know if I'm going to... I may synthesize some more. What I'm also thinking is getting as far as I can with those two, then let the or get out as far as I can and use a decontamination limpet once I am actually outside the cloud. And that's why I always keep one limpet left over. I don't use all of them to get like tissue samples. So let's see if there's anything else around here, because that can't be it surely for more. It is. Only 2 more limpet points. That is, by some margin, the worst I've had of any of the Titans I've been to. Just 2. At this rate, I'm going to be quite surprised if I'm able to get all of my, all of the limpets used up, getting all of my samples, because and even if I do, just how good are they going to be? They're pretty shit to begin with. Right, let's get this one underway. Right, I don't always get notifications saying missed your other music videos. Oh yeah, there are quite a few others out there. Not as much for a metal fan as you, but good music is good music, whatever genre. I think it's because of your like logo here on YouTube. I get the impression you're quite the punk fan. trying to do a cover of Phantom of the Opera. Fucking good luck with that. A great song, but the only slight sort of like black mark on Phantom of the Opera, and I guess you have to be of a certain age, but hearing it now, you know, it just all I can picture is Daley Thompson drinking Lukozer. Oh well. Alright, so that was a regular.
Research limpet engaged.
I mean, there's, okay, a fair few limpet points in range here. I mean, including the one I'm doing now. There's 5 of them, and if they've all got 3, you know, available, then I am going to fill the cargo hold. But will they be any good though? That is the thing. The regular, that point is done. I think there's some closer to where I am, maybe not. Right, that's on the upper side. These two are close to each other, so we can get these two done at the same time. Right. Oh, fuck, yeah. So that out there is another Cyclops. I thought I saw a glaive out there. It may be one that's just launched. We are quite close to a glaive launch point. But to be fair, Daley is a legend. Yeah, I mean, he is that. I mean, yeah, there are far worse things you can think of when listening to Phantom of the Opera. I mean, at least it's not. Who's that? Yeah, Andrew Lloyd Webber. I mean, fucking hell. It's pretty horrific if you know, that's what you're picturing. So that's a regular one.
Research limpet successful. Programming limpet drone.
And the other one is also a regular. At least it's not partial, so.
Research limpet engaged. Programming limpet drone.
Well, it looks like I'm going to have no trouble using, well, all bar the one limpet that I'll save for the, you know, for trying to get out of here. Now the other thing I need to bear in mind is, yeah, this is very close to the planetary ring system, The last thing I want is to get out of here and then find myself, you know, with the ring system right here. So I hope like fuck that I'm going out the right way. Actually, I know how I can. Well, hopefully I'll just be able to jump straight back to a hole.
Research limpet successful.
Ah, last another deep tissue sample. Right, what about this one? That one's sort of regular. Alright, so we're down to the last 6. They are scouts getting launched there. So we'll have a look at the good luck indeed, and yes, the Lukozer advert. Yeah. I did a good cover of Motor at the Ace of Spades. My mate said I should have covered Bomber. Yeah, I'd much rather hear Bomber than Ace of Spades. The problem with Ace of Spades is it's been overly played. Totally a hero. Going back to Daley Thompson. If it wasn't for that ad, maybe the song wouldn't have reached as far. Absolutely. Yeah, that I played a big part in that.
Research limpet successful.
Alright, so that's a regular one. That one is also done. That's another regular. So we have 2 more limpet points. One is significantly closer than the other. Hurry up and get on. There we are. Right, well that one is clearly on the upper side. Where's the other? Oh, that's going to be on the upper side as well, isn't it? Oh, it takes so long to fucking not register that it's got something on board. Right, so let's head over the other side for these 2. Right. Well, that's about as close as I can get to that one, so check that one out. I'm a glutton for punishment. Musically poles apart, but playing Maiden and Johnny Marr stuff really does test one. Quite possibly, as far as guitar playing goes, when it comes to doing the lyrics, Johnny Marr, well, certainly Easy Money doesn't test your lyric abilities. I mean, yeah, that's not going to go down as some of the greatest lyric writing of all time, that one. Oh, that's okay. So it's another regular. Well, that's all we're gonna. No, that's. Yeah, I'm still launch there, so let's get another one sent out. So we've only got 4 left. So it looks very much like this limpid point I'm doing and the next one could end up finishing off. Well, I've got 4 limpids left, but I'm only going to use 3 of them for getting these samples. So yeah, these last two limpid points could be it. So that's one thing that's definitely in favour of her dad. No shortage of tissue limpid points, unless you're really going after you know, more tissue samples, because that was shit. Only 2. That's the worst I've had of any of them. I mean, even Ryan had more than that. So that's that one used. That's another deep tissue sample as well, which we'll certainly take. So, is this limpid point going to give us 3? If it will, then that will be us done. Playing Elite Dangerous is an example of being a glutton for punishment. Yeah, I can't argue with that. There are plenty of occasions where I really wish that the research limpids would do their thing a bit fucking faster. So that's a regular one. Well, if this turns out to be the last one at this limpid point, I'm not going to bother looking for another just for one more sample. So this is going to be the last limpid point. It could be the last sample, depends. If there's another one left here after this one, then yeah, I will take it, but that one will definitely be the last. So I mean, yeah, the quantity of samples here is fine. Absolutely no problem getting a decent amount here, as long as you ignore the Titan More. The quality is fucking awful. I mean, alright, I've managed to get Titan deep tissue samples up to 5, which ain't bad. So that was the last, and it's another deep tissue sample. So deep tissue samples up to 6, but 9 partials is that's way too many. So I don't like the quality of the tissue samples here. And as far as how aggressive this place is, it practically doesn't give a monkey's toss that you're here. So yeah, I think this would be rated 8. It's the worst one I've been to. Now, alright, I've only been here the once. I would have to get back, you know, come back here at least another couple of times. And I'll tell you now, I fucking ain't doing that. Yeah. Not impressed. Now for what could be the tough part. I've got to get out of here. So, we need to head in that direction. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the risky way. I'm not going to synthesize any more caustic zinc, so I'll use the 1.5 that I've got. And then once we are out of the caustic zinc, or out of the caustic clouds, you know, out of the maelstrom, I'll use my last 2 decontamination limpets, or one of them anyway, and hopefully the ship won't be destroyed on the way. Right, let's get our temperature right down. There we go. Right, let's get out. Once you know, I mean, there isn't really much here in the way of ships to avoid. So I don't really need to play it sort of like safe with the old heat levels, but okay. So it is somewhat risk-free getting away from here. It is the most passive of all the maelstroms I've been to. There's no doubt about that. I really don't have much to worry about as far as getting out of here. I mean, it gave up looking. It retracted all of its, you know, turret, yeah, all of its turrets and missiles and what have you. Right, so I'll let it start to do the old caustic damage, because when it's this slow a rate at the moment, I can take it. But once it starts to speed up a bit, that's when I need to start worrying. Yeah, so it's starting to speed up now, so we'll use the first one. Heading for the ring system. Alright, it's going to send out the pulse, which will send me out of here a damn sight faster, which I can really do with. There we go. So it hasn't tipped me around very much, but I'm going a hell of a lot quicker.
Thrusters online.
Let's use the last caustic sink. There we go, so we're out of it, so this decontamination limpet should do the trick.
Taking damage. Frame shift anomaly detected. Caustic substance
There we go.
neutralized.
So even that wasn't that that much of a risk. So I might as well let it do some of the old repairs. Well, still at 61, but yeah, no, that's fine. Let's jump back, because we're going to a system that, yeah, has no Tygon activity in it. We're not going to get pulled out of hyperspace, even though we're leaving a maelstrom system.
4, 3, 2.
we are. The only potential risk now would be if any pirates come along. But they're not going to, because they would have been here by now if they were going to show up. Because although AX missiles are great against regular ships, absolutely no problem against them, AX multi-cannons not so much. So I mean they will do damage for sure, but not a hell of a lot. On the back 10. So repairs 24,850. Fuck off. Alright, I've got 4.5 million to hand in combat bonds. I'm quite okay with handing that in at my carrier. Yeah, I'll lose a few credits there. I mean, I have 56,384,000,000, 25,926. I do not have much to worry about as far as credits goes. Get rid of that last limpet, don't need that. So we will transfer all of the samples that I got, which means now in the commodities market, so we have 6 deep tissue samples, 1 Titan More partial, 5 Titan More regular tissue samples, 9 Titan partial tissue samples, and 25 regular Titan tissue samples. And they're all priced as such that they should go fairly quickly. Anyone buying them from me would be able to sell them on at most other carriers and make just over $1 million per ton on each of them. Yeah. Well, I think that is about it, because that went on for a hell of a lot longer than I thought. I didn't expect me to be out there for 2.25 hours. Let's have a look at the old chat there. I'm going to see Ramstein, my mate and nephew. He will ride his bike and I'll go on my scooter. My mate likes the idea of me in a fishtail parka and tonic suit. risky, but I'm up for it. Can't say I'm a big fan of Rammstein. Panther, who's just buggered off, he's quite the Rammstein fan. Not really for me. Evening Goblin Prince. Looks like you've come along just as I'm about to about to call it a night. So there we are. Well, all right. I've only been there the once, but based on what I saw there, I would definitely rate Marshal Haddad 8 out of 8. I would rather go back to Ryan or Tyrannus than go there again. It's just way too many partial samples. And all right, I could easily fill up the cargo hold on this thing with 48 tons. But when it's so many partials on that, I'd rather not. I'd rather go to a Titan that just has better quality. Let's face it, I'm just going to go back to Maelstrom Thor again. That is still hands down the one to go to. So now that I've seen every single one of them, yeah, that's the one I'm going to stick to. Well, it's the one I'm going to stick to when it comes to taking samples. Clearly, there is more gameplay to come around the Titans because we can't enter that portal yet. That is the current layer of like plot armor that the Titans have got. So at some point we're going to find a way of getting in there. And I am convinced that is when we will finally get the on-foot Thargoid combat. So it's certainly not going to happen in Update 16. It may, there's a chance of it happening in Update 17, especially as Update 17 is going to be happening around sort of November, December time, so it'll be like the Christmas update. I can't believe I'm using that word in fucking June. But yeah, so there's a possibility of it, in Update 17. I'm not going to hold my breath waiting though. Would be nice, but yeah, Frontier Development's track record is not great, to put it mildly. It's about as great as going to Maelstrom Haddad. But that will do it for this stream then. Yeah, it wasn't the most exciting one I've ever done. Taking samples from Titans is not the most exciting thing to watch. I quite like doing it. I quite like, playing the game doing that, but watching someone do it, that is pretty coma-inducing, isn't it? But that will do for now. Any last comments here? Nice one. I'm impressed how calm you managed to stay inside that Titan thing. The problem is you're going to be, when you've done it a few times, when all the signals turn red, you know that you haven't really got too much to worry about. So it don't take long for you to be able to, just basically ignore everything that's happening around you and just, stick with, stick with whatever it is you're doing. Do you think there'll be non-human or zombie humans as seems to be rumoured? Non-human. The whole zombie humans thing, the rumour is quite constant, but what is it based on? Absolutely nothing. Pure supposition. So yeah, I'm sure it will be non-human. Some metalheads turned up to a mod gig because it was the only live music in town. Everyone got on. The media don't like that. No, I mean it's been like that since the fucking 50s, though, isn't it? Yeah. Mods and rockers. Oh yeah, they must hate each other. Yeah, fuck off. So that will do. Anyway, job done. So now go away.